What's up, Internet? This is the A4th Wolf, and welcome back to another episode of Wolf Watches. It's the day after the showing of RWBY Volume 3 in theaters, so that's why I got my official Roman hat. Unfortunately, I can't wear this and my headset as well as I can with my other hats, so this is just a special one-time thing. But a special shout-out to a friend of mine who helped me get all the materials together and did a couple alterations like this red stripe on it and stuff like that. So anyway, had a lot of fun. There were a couple other people in cosplay that was at the Alamo Draft House, which is where I went to see my movie showing of RWBY Volume 3. It was a lot of fun, took a lot of pictures. I'll be sure to, once I get everyone's pictures together, sort out all the duplicates and stuff like that, I'll put up a video just, show how much fun we had. So, hope you guys will enjoy that when it comes out. But for now, I have two videos for you today. The RWBY Volume 4 World of Remnant city or kingdom breakdown, I guess I would call them, of Atlas and Vacuo. Atlas, we know they are they're like everything that they have is military and have an edge on science and technology. Vacuo seems kind of I wouldn't say like poverty kingdom, because obviously it does very well, but going by the what we know from Sun and from like the not distinguishing uniforms, they take individualism very seriously, and it's probably not like the traditional way that the other kingdoms are set up. So we'll just see how that balances out. But for now, we're going to go right into the first video that I'm going to go through, which is World of Remnant, Atlas. I wonder if Winter takes this one over.
I suppose It's time we talked about the fine people at the top of the world. Atlas is Remnant's youngest and arguably most successful kingdom.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's a bit of a special case. See, before the Great War, there was no Atlas. There was Mantle. At some point in time, a group of settlers were crazy enough to venture out into the northernmost continent of Solitas. I guess when you're that desperate, a frozen hunk of rock doesn't seem like such a bad place to call home. As a matter of fact, the harsh weather conditions proved to be just as useful as the mountain ranges when it came to keeping the creatures of Grimm at bay. But it also kept the people of Mantle from flourishing. Humanity's got a neat trick up its sleeve, though. Whenever we're faced with a problem, our inclination is to find a solution. The cold climate of Solitas forced its settlers to adapt. They developed a more advanced technology, and they did it faster than the rest of the world, because they had to survive. But it was the Great War that really kicked things off.
So they're actually a mining
forms of dust
city.
application and weaponry allowed Mantle to expand. More and more territory was set aside for dust mining and research. The territory beside the kingdom's combat school, Alcius, was the most opportune area to construct a new R&D facility. But by the time things were all said and done, it would be much, much more. Alcius was reopened as Atlas after the Great War to house many of the warriors now seeking guidance in an effort to give back to the citizens. Mantle applied all sorts of new dust techniques and technologies it had used in the war to beef up the Academy's campus. The school grounds expanded faster than they could have imagined, and even helped to better secure the surrounding areas. It wasn't long before the kingdom's military moved in, then the labs and research facilities.
So the school is essentially
even residential areas
its own
started
city
popping up.
with R&D,
In time,
military.
it became apparent that the city of Mantle was living in Atlas' shadow. So the decision was made to move the kingdom's capital. Mantle was old news, and the Kingdom of Atlas was born. A golden age of prosperity, they called it. But those left behind in Mantle would probably tell you that it was the coldest winter they ever knew.
So that's interesting. So is Mantle and Atlas like? I thought they said they renamed it. So are they actually two different things, and are they like bitter about that? One thing that I've noticed in all these World of Remnants and from watching the show is that there's always like a class under. I mean, it's true for every society. There's always going to be a class under, but they seem to specify that, like, hey, in Vale, primarily at the moment is Roman Torchwick and the White Fang. In Minstrel, it's kind of like the seedy underbelly black market kind of thing. And now in Atlas, we have like Mantle was sort of left behind to create Atlas, and according to Crow at least, it's the coldest winter. So to me, it seems like they're a little bitter about that. Like maybe they forgot their roots or something like that. Focus more on military and technology, other than like just helping others and stuff like that. So it's an interesting thought, I think, but obviously we won't know until the next volume. So let's go ahead and move on to the next World of Remnant video, Vacuo. This is actually one that I really have been wanting to explore ever since I kind of learned about it. Alright, what do you got for us, Vacuo?
Now, if there's one kingdom that's had it harder than the people of Mantle, it's Vacuo, the last of the four great kingdoms. The western end of Sanus is a barren and desolate wasteland. But long ago, before man went and ruined everything, it was a paradise.
Really?
In the center of the vast desert was an oasis unlike anything you'd ever seen. A jungle bursting with natural resources, geographical defenses, and the world's largest recorded deposit of dust. Nomads that survived the journey across the scorching sands settled down in this little hidden gem, and over time the kingdom of Vacuo thrived. Unfortunately, comfort breeds weakness.
Yeah.
While the rest of Remnant had to learn and adapt in order to survive, Vacuo's ancient society kicked back and lived a life of complacency. But when other, more developed kingdoms set their eyes on everything Vacuo had to offer, its citizens couldn't do anything to stop them from taking it.
A bunch of guns versus a bunch of spears. Yeah, good luck.
Years of human conflict, unrestricted mining, and ecological disasters have changed Vacuo. The paradise that was once there is practically indistinguishable from the surrounding deserts.
Company.
Citizens live in makeshift homes, uprooting and traveling frequently in response to the fleeting resources and occasional attacks from the creatures of Grimm. After the Great War, a formal government was finally established. But by that point, the folks living in Vacuo didn't much care to uphold its laws, making Shade Academy the only real source of order in the kingdom. But order isn't everything. Vacuo may not be as prim and proper as the other three kingdoms, but it's still standing. And the people there have a mutual respect for one another. See, there's really only one unspoken rule in Vacuo. If you can survive here, then you're welcome here. So, there you have it. Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo.
What about
Oz would always say that the four kingdoms were a representation of what mankind is capable of when working together. Ever the optimist. We sure could use him now.
Okay, so that takes care of all the World of Remnant videos. I guess they're not going to do a menagerie. That kind of sucks. But, yeah, it's nice to get this little extra information before we embark on the journey with RWBY to find other cities and stuff like that. And so I wonder if they're telling us about these cities because we're going to experience all of them in the next volume. Now, when I say all of them, I don't mean that RWBY and her team are going to travel to Minstrel, then to Atlas, then to Vacuo, but I'm thinking that instead of them traveling as a team, we're going to get a bunch of shorter stories. Say like 3 episodes of RWBY and the rest of Team Ranger are in Minstrel trying to find stuff out. Then we move over to what is Weiss doing, then what is Blake doing, and then what is Yang doing. And I wonder if, like, after all that, they kind of somehow, well, they probably can't, they won't be able to communicate with each other because the CCT towers are down, but just they somehow get word to each other, and then by the end of the volume, they are making their way back together. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because they can't keep Team RWBY apart for long. It's the name of the show. They're going to be gone for a good while. It's already been 6 to 8 months, technically, since between volumes 3 and 4. But at the same time, like, for us, it has just happened. So they're not going to be together immediately. So I would expect them to be on their way to meet back up by the end of volume 4. Not necessarily together. I mean, it could be possible that they get together, like, at the end of the volume. But I think to make it a bit better impact, that Rooster Teeth should probably wait until the next volume before they start maybe pairing up 2 by 2. Maybe Yang finds Blake, or Weiss finds RWBY, and then they find each other. So we'll just have to see how that goes when the time comes. So hope you guys enjoyed watching this with me and studying all the different kingdoms and stuff like that. Can't wait for the actual episode to air on the 22nd. I will release the video probably on the 24th if I'm allowed. I hope I'm allowed. I'm just gonna have to watch kind of who else posts stuff on YouTube and stuff like that, and see if anything gets banned or stuff like that. So earliest will be the 24th. Latest will probably be the day of or the day after it gets shown on YouTube. So keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited. And until then, this is the A4th Wolf, and I'll see you guys next time.